I think that, of course, it's a bit risky. We know that because we do have experience of other epidemics, but not of this one. So we cannot exactly anticipate what will occur. And of course, we need to have an experimental approach and to be very prudent, very cautious. The word that Tony Fauci, the American expert, used to say frequently. He says, you don't make the timeline, the virus does. So the virus does the timeline. We cannot anticipate whether there will be here or in another place several new cases. Therefore, we must be very alert and do many tests and isolate cases as soon as they appear here or in another place. It can be in a school, it can be at the parliament again, it can be in various places. We must be cautious and ask to everyone to respect all the rules. But even with these rules, we know that there will be new cases of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's a tricky one when it comes to schools because there's only a month and a half left anyway in the school year. Working class families, it's particularly difficult, Jean-Louis Touraine.
Families can choose. All families have the choice whether or not they will take their children to the school. So
the teacher can't teach both online and in the classroom.
Exactly. So the children who prefer to remain at home and together with their parents, when the parents stay at home with work with tele work, as we say, in those cases, of course, the children can stay at home. But in other cases, the children, as you know, need to socialize, and they cannot stay forever in this situation.
But I do believe that the government was very a bit reckless about opening schools, not in the fact that they decided to do so, but in the way this decision was made and in the lack of recommendations that schools got, or at least the cities, because the cities are in charge of the school yards and the school buildings in France. They had to build very strict protocols in order to guarantee the health and to guarantee that there's the least contamination as possible in the schools. And it does seem to me like the government decided to reopen them not for reasons regarding socialization of young children, which I can understand, but more regarding economic reasons. And this is why the government decided to reopen schools for the smallest kids, the youngest kids. Whereas, I mean, in spite of the fact that they are the least able to respect the social distanciation measures or wearing a mask or all of this, when you're from 2 to 6 years old, I mean, you can't expect kids to respect these. You can't expect them to be in classrooms where there's nothing they can touch, where they can't play with any objects. I mean, that's completely surreal. And this is why in my city, in Rouen, we've decided not to open schools today or tomorrow. We are going to start reopening them on the 25th of May only, because this is the time that we need to prepare the schools, to prepare for the personnel to be there and to organize themselves within the schools. It's going to start with very small groups, and it's not going to involve kids in kindergarten, because it's just simply impossible